Miami Dolphins rumors coming at you guys here, and just allow me to go through this, Dolphins fans. I know you don't like any trade talk around because you got Tua, and I get that, but I do want to go through this and then give you the answer you guys want to hear at the end, so just bear with me. Bleacher Report threw out this idea that the Dolphins are in the best spot to go trade for Aaron Rodgers. They have extra draft capital that would intrigue Green Bay in a trade. They have a good roster that Rodgers can win with right now, and those things do make sense to me. I get the mindset. And if you are Green Bay, given how good Aaron Rodgers was in 2020, I think as an organization, even if the answer is no, we're not going to do it, you have to at least run through the scenario of, okay, well, how much would it cost? Are we a contender immediately as a result? So you have to at least have the discussion there. You have to figure out, okay, just how expensive would it end up being? Because this is the MVP. Rodgers comes in, he's probably, Dolphins are the AFC's favorites, I think, there. This was their three-team trade. Bleacher Report, by the way, so again, don't shoot the messenger, please. The Packers end up getting in total 4 first-round picks. 1 in 2022 via Miami, and 2 more in 2023 also via Miami. Then an extra 2022 one from an unnamed third team who would go out and trade for Tua as their franchise quarterback. So 4 first-round picks going from Miami via a third team as well, but to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers. I don't like this deal. Now you guys can get your votes in right now as to what you guys would do. If you would do this trade, type D for deal, N for no deal. At the cost of 4 first-round picks, which does include Tua, that's an awful lot. Let's say it's 3 first-round picks in Tua. That's a lot to give up for a an MVP caliber quarterback. I say no deal, but get your votes in. D for deal, N for no deal. Again, this has nothing to do with how good Aaron Rodgers is. He is a fantastic quarterback, but he's also on the back end of his career. And at that cost, it's not like you're getting Rodgers on the cheap. And it's not like you're getting a long-term solution either. What you would be doing is committing to a, let's say, 3-year window of, hey, this is our chance, let's go do it. I don't think Miami has to be in that position. If this was Washington with no franchise quarterback, okay, that's a different conversation. I don't think there's a good reason right now to bail on Tua quite this fast. I think the Dolphins can afford to wait. They can afford to see if Tua develops into the guy that I think many of you guys watching think he can be. They don't have to bail on Tua overnight and go, oh my goodness, we're screwed now. I think they're in a position where because of what they invested in Tua, it makes sense to pass on Aaron Rodgers at his age and see if Tua Tagovailoa can be the franchise savior for the Miami Dolphins. Let's chat Tua now more in depth with where things currently sit over in Miami. Now, fair or not, and it's probably not fair, but welcome to life, there is a tremendous amount of pressure for Tua to take a leap in this upcoming season. And I'll give head coach Brian Flores credit. He's trying to say the right things publicly and say, hey, I don't want to put everything on the quarterback's shoulders. He's putting in the work. He's doing everything we're asking of him, and that's all good. But the reality is the pressure is on for Tua in 2021. There have been the much-rumored quarterback conversations around Miami, Watson, Rodgers, etc. Russell Wilson was kind of mentioned. That never really made much sense to me. And then there's the fact that Justin Herbert, 1 pick behind him, played so great last year. The pressure's on Tua to get Miami to the postseason in 2021. Now here's what Flores had to say. I never like to put it on one player. We've got a lot of those young players. And we're looking for all of those players, as well as really everyone on our team, to improve in a variety of ways. If they're putting in all the work, I expect them to improve, get better, and perform better. Tua is obviously at the top of that list. He's been working. And those are all the right things that you want to hear out of your franchise quarterback who, fair or not, is facing a pretty big year as the team's face of the franchise. So how are you guys feeling about Tua? Rate this for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you've got no trust whatsoever and you want to get somebody else in there. 10 being you're like, guys, he is the best quarterback we've ever had in history. Dan who? Get your votes in for me, scale of 1 to 10. Now, part of the reason why there's so much pressure right now on Tua was the fact that he was replaced down the stretch in some key games by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Overall, for a first-year player who was coming off the injury, who I thought the offensive scheme was very limiting, and I did not like the difference in the game plan. I thought that was a detriment to the young franchise quarterback. I thought he played fine. 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, completed plenty of passes. The offense around him is healthier. I think people forget how banged up it was around Tua down the stretch. And I think in the end, this is Tua's chance. I think it's very clear as well. This is Tua's team. The backup right now is Jacoby Brissett. I've seen, and we've all seen, Brissett play key games. He's not a real contender as an actual starting quarterback. He's a great backup. If Tua gets hurt, that's about as good as you're going to get out there. But Jake Rudock, Reed Sinnett, come on, those guys are camp fodder at best. So with where things sit, this is Tua's team. And in the modern NFL, you don't get the opportunity to allow young quarterbacks added time to grow and develop. The days of a quarterback sitting for 2 years or having, multiple years like, say, Troy Aikman did to grow and develop are gone. It is, you got to do it right now. We don't have the patience. All right, you got 2, maybe 3 years maximum. So for Tua, it is a critical year for him, but I liked him a lot coming out of Alabama. I feel pretty good he can take a big step forward in 2021. Let's talk Deshaun Watson and a possible trade here. Amid a whole bunch of lawsuits that are still ongoing, Watson's 2021 is very murky, and the trade rumors are kind of dead as a result. But Peter King, in his article for Pro Football Talk, broke down 2022 destinations, put out odds for all the different teams. So let's break them down here. Philadelphia, Carolina, next year. The top 2 favorites, plus 300 apiece, and I think both those teams make sense. Philadelphia still might need a franchise quarterback unless Jalen Hurts ends up being the guy. Carolina picked up Sam Darnold's option, but their organization is willing to be aggressive to go get a quarterback. Washington plus 500 makes some sense. They don't have anyone long term. Same with Denver if they don't get Rodgers and if Drew Lock ends up not going great. Houston is plus 800. They're 5th all the way down there. And of course, this assumes that the legal issues end up getting sorted out for Deshaun Watson, because if not, well then, he's not going to be playing in the NFL. There are also the Saints at plus 900. Money gets tricky, but Sean Payton loves to be super aggressive. The Dolphins at plus 1,000, which they were linked pretty heavily, but they did lose some of their best assets from this year's draft because, they had the number 3 pick, and they're not going to pick in that early next year. Minnesota plus 2,000. He threw out Cousins for Deshaun Watson. Houston says no, but maybe Minnesota throws in some other draft capital. Pittsburgh at plus 2,500. I actually find kind of intriguing. I don't think it's the most likely outcome, but if they're bad this year and they have a high draft pick, that could intrigue Houston. And then there's the field, plus 3,500, because let's be honest, that seems pretty unlikely anyway. In the end, any Deshaun Watson trade is on the back burner right now as Watson deals with his legal issues as a result of multiple sexual harassment and assault allegations. And that's the priority for Deshaun getting that figured out. And then there was, of course, the whole I want to hold out from Houston. So there's a lot going on right now in terms of what exactly is going to happen with Deshaun Watson short-term and long-term. So I was a little surprised King threw out a bunch of different teams for 2022, but it's intriguing, and he is pretty well connected. I'd say keep an eye out for Philadelphia if, of course, Watson's stuff ends up getting cleared. So make your predictions for me then in the comments section. Where do you think Deshaun Watson will play? Let's go to 2022. Let's look way into the distance. Make your guesses for me in the comments section.